Hi everyone, this is Yoana Nin with the Prosperous agency, and I'm here with renowned lender April Roberts with Equity Resources. Yeah, man, you
I like it.
We're here to tell you about closing costs. So a lot of people are asking me, what are closing costs? What's a down payment? Which is pretty self-explanatory, I think, but still, there's a difference between closing costs and down payment.
Yes.
And closing costs, you can actually ask the seller to pay if you are a buyer in the transaction. So there's a different, I guess, it's the variation of terms that people don't understand. So we're here to go through what closing costs are.
Yes, and that is a big question. So closing cost, when we talk about money to closing, that is going to encompass your down payment plus your closing cost. So that's when we're talking about the whole amount that you're bringing. Closing cost piece of that is made up of all of the items that you have to buy a house in North Carolina. Those items are going to be your appraisal, your attorney, your title insurance, your first year of homeowner's insurance, and then if you're escrowing, the setup of your escrow account. Those things you have to buy a home. Those are going to make up your closing costs. So when you're looking at how much you're bringing to closing, you've got all of those numbers added into your down payment.
And remember, some of those items, like the homeowner's insurance, there's items that you're going to have to shop for while we are in our due diligence period, or even after, because you can't really have a house without an insurance and so on. And those are details that you're going to discuss with me and with your lender, just to make sure we have everything covered. And again, remember, closing costs are going to come from your pocket. There's inspections, and sometimes even appraisal, right, that are being paid outside of closing. So I guess there's a lot of confusion about that as well, because some people might say, okay, well, the lender had told me that we need to pay appraisal right now upfront versus at closing. So when do you actually pay the appraisal?
So some lenders will require you to pay that appraisal upfront.
Right.
We do not. That is part of your closing cost. It's paid at closing.
Right.
So what we typically do is we're going to get your information. We're going to let you know, hey, if you don't close on the house, something happens to it, you've got to pay for the appraisal, but we don't make you pay for it up front.
Right. And also attorney, which is usually somewhere between $900 to $1,100, depending on the attorney and the company. But that's something that you cannot really avoid. A lot of people say, well, especially people that are moving from other states, they don't understand that in this state, the attorney is the one that's actually performing the closing. And so there's like the escrow, right? The escrow agency, whatever it's called in other states, but you cannot not have an attorney payment. That's going to be vital and cannot be avoided. So, as I've touched already, the inspections are POC, paid outside of closing. Equity Resources, April here, does not charge upfront for the appraisal. We've covered that. And then attorney and other closing costs, all of those together are just the closing costs. And then there's the down payment. So if you have a house, if you buy a house that's $250,000, $300,000, and you have a 3% down payment, you're going to think that you're going to have to bring another 3% out of the $300,000, which is going to take you to $9,000. So $9,000 plus your closing costs, plus some costs that are paid outside of closing. So you kind of need to think ahead just to make sure that you have some money in your account, and it's not just going to be the down payment and that's it. So hopefully this wasn't too complicated and too crazy from our part. If you have any additional questions, or if you know someone that is considering selling or buying and needs additional guidance, my phone number is 919-348-7303, and April's cell phone number is
919-610-4250.
Call us.
Have a great day.
Thank you. Bye-bye.